here we are, Jeremiah chapter 31. I think we can see if we can finish this chapter. We've got like five verses left. We're down on verse 35. Remember, this chapter is the restoration of Israel and the new covenant that he's going to put in our hearts, rather than, if you will, in the book of the law. Okay, you've got that book of the law, but he's to where you get what people get the impression, you have to obey every single law, however many, 700 and whatever in Numbers and Leviticus. You have to obey every single one, which is impossible to do. The stacks of civil law that we have, books of civil law. I watch the cop shows. You can break the law if the light bulb on your rear license plate is burnt out. They will stop you and give you a ticket for having a burnt out light bulb. Okay? It's impossible. Okay, but God is giving us this covenant of belief and trust in our hearts, and the free gift of salvation and the free gift of mercy and grace, which we do not deserve. And that's pretty much what the earlier part of Jeremiah chapter 31 is about. Okay? So we come down, verse 35. Thus saith the Lord, which giveth the sun for a light by day. Okay? God's creation, right? Gave us the sun, light, and the ordinances, if you will, the laws of the moon and of the stars. Okay? We just went through full moon, and this last week we had sighting the aurora, northern lights, and this is all part of God's creation. Okay, for the ordinances of the moon and of the stars for a light by night. Okay, so he created that for us. Okay, and if you will, they are his ordinances, his laws. Okay, and light by night, which divideth, and the ordinances, which divideth the sea when the waves thereof roar. Okay? And he controls what the sea does. I know we don't like it, but God is in control. The two hurricanes within a week of each other down there in the south that destroyed, I don't want to mention any politics about the results of that, but those two, within a week apart, and there are folks that are hurting, homes destroyed, tornadoes, whatever. Okay, that really is. I know we don't like to think of it that way, but it really is under God's control. He is in control of it. He is in control of climate change, and we don't, we can think, well, everybody says, it's climate change. It's all our fault. There are too many of us around. We're all belching out too much CO2, and of course the cows, and they're, yeah, you gotta go vegan because too many cows, yeah, doing their thing, but
Eating them, then what happens?
yeah,
They increase.
they increase. But there's only well, if you will, two solutions, okay, to the problem. The evil human beings, which is what a lot of the politicians want to call us, evil human beings. Depending on who we vote for, we are evil. Okay, there's what? Ebenezer Scrooge in the Christmas Carol, okay? Reduce the surplus population of the planet, okay? And then there's, if you are a Star Trek fan, there's V'ger, okay? And eliminate the carbon-based units on the third planet from the sun. Okay, that you want to control CO2? Well, that's about the only ways you're going to be able to do it. But anyway, God is in control. Divideth the sea, ordinance the moon, stars. Okay, and when the waves thereof roar. Okay, and the Lord of hosts is his name. Okay? Thus saith the Lord of hosts is his name. He's in control of it all.
Amen.
Now, verse 30, if these ordinances depart from before me, okay, if something happens and, let's see, okay, how would these ordinances depart from God? Well, that would be one of those, all these TV programs, how the world is going to end. We've got meteors coming in and destroying the earth, and in the past, and that's how those, if you will, ordinances would depart from before me. It would be the complete and total destruction of the earth, his creation. That's not going to happen. You can go with all those apocalypse type things that could happen on all this, Science Channel programs, how the earth is going to end, including, alien invasions. Yeah, that too. If the earth is destroyed, okay, saith the Lord, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. Hey, if the earth is destroyed, okay, nation of Israel is gone. Okay, but the nation of Israel is still around. And did you see the latest news? Israel got the head honcho of what, Hezbollah? Hamas? Yeah.
The one that planned the attack in Israel.
Yeah. They got him. And so, if I were a member of Hamas or Hezbollah or any of those, with all of the stuff that Israel is, exploding pagers, if I were, I would be kind of keeping a very low profile these days.
Don't answer the phone.
Don't check your pager.
I need some of those in church. I'm gonna find out how they did that.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have an exploding phone that end that right there.
Okay. So, but what you can see here in this verse is, okay, this is not going to happen. God's in control of it. These ordinances are not going to depart from before God, and the seed of Israel. There's always going to be a remnant of the seed of Israel, no matter what happens. Okay, shall cease from being a nation before me. Thus saith the Lord, if heaven above can be measured, okay, and, hey, science today, we can measure it. We can measure the heaven above. Of course, it's in light years, which are, billions of miles away. It can still be, we can measure it, okay? We can measure as far out as we can see. And the wonderful telescopes that they have now, orbiting the Earth, and they're getting some really fantastic pictures of the universe out there. But it's all
not orbiting the Earth. They've got one. How many years has that been out there, Art? The one they set, the Hubble?
Oh, yeah.
20 years?
Yeah, it's been out there for a long time. Yeah. And, speaking of Voyager is still going. Voyager 1,
Oh,
that's Voyager in the Star Trek movies. Yeah. I mentioned, Voyager. Yeah, in the Star Trek movies. Okay. But Voyager 1 is still going.
Prosper, if I got that right.
It's still going. Anyway, heaven above can be met, and the foundations of the earth searched out beneath. Okay? And the scientists and all of that, they're finding out stuff. There's stuff on Earth that we don't even haven't even been explored. There are places on Earth that have not been explored, especially kind of the really deep deeps, of the ocean.
Ocean, yeah.
Yeah. I will also, if heaven above can, I will also cast off all the seed of Israel for all that they have done, saith the Lord. Okay? This is this seed mentioned here, okay, are the ones that Jeremiah, the reason why Israel is going into 70 years of captivity, because they're not following God, they're not trusting God, they're not, if you will, trusting in God's, ordinances, okay? And they're certainly not trusting in, Jesus as the one and only begotten Son of God, okay? This is who he's talking about here, is casting off all the seed of Israel for all that they have done, saith the Lord. Okay? Remember, a lot of people are going to die. The nation's going to be scattered, and they're going to be cast off, if you will. They're going to be literally kicked out of their nation, their plot of land that God gave to them. Okay? They're going to be cast out. Behold, verse 38, the days come, saith the Lord, that the city shall be built to the Lord, okay? His heavenly city, okay? His new temple, okay, is going to be built. The city shall be built from the tower of Hananeel unto the gate of the corner. Okay? And remember when we went through Ezekiel? Ezekiel had a plan. God gave Ezekiel a plan, and I showed you all this. Had diagrams and pictures of the new temple grounds, Ezekiel's temple, and the surroundings around Jerusalem, and again, as I've said before, the city shall be built to the Lord. Okay, the temple will be built in Jerusalem on the Temple Mount, where the Dome of the Rock is still standing, and where, like I said, one of these days, one of those missiles from their enemies going to destroy that. I don't know if I'm much of a prophet, but I would really like to see that happen. I don't know if that'll ever come true, but I have a feeling that one way or another that may come true. So you can remember. You can remember Prophet Art Clark here saying, I wouldn't trust me too much though. Okay, but Tower of Hananeel, it's you know, the city's going to be restored, and we're not sure where. Have to look up, find out where the Tower of Hananeel is, under the gate of the corner. Okay, and remember in Ezekiel there are certain corners, okay, of the city, and the measuring. Okay, he's measuring heaven above. He can measure heaven above. The measuring line shall yet go forth over against it. Again, you know, it's going to be measured out, and it's going to be precise measurements. Okay? Shall go forth over against it upon the hill Gareb, and shall compass about to Goath. Now, we don't have a clue where these two places are. Gareb and Goath, wherever they are, there might be, you know, it may be
Saudi Arabia and
Yeah.
Iran.
who knows? It may be Gareb Street and Goath Street there in Jerusalem. You know, like we have Pine Street and Pearl Street. Okay, but you know, there's a apparently there's a hill called Gareb, but we don't know exactly where they are, and that's really not important. Okay, you know, you don't need to get all upset about these, you know, these place names, because God knows where they are, and He knows where the measurement is going to be. And like I said, in Ezekiel's plan, you know, it's laid out where the exact measurements, and it's going to be precise measurements. It's going to be a precise square. Okay, so it shall compass about, and the whole valley of the dead bodies and of the ashes, and this is going to be a result of, you know, Nebuchadnezzar's conquering Jerusalem. Whole valley of the dead bodies and of the ashes, and all the fields unto the brook of Kidron, unto the corner of the horse gate toward the east. Yeah, each of the gates in Jerusalem did have names. Okay, there was the horse. There was a dung gate. There was, you know, that's, and there, and, you know, that's where the dung gate led you out to the dump. The horse gate toward the east shall be holy. Okay, all of this area, this whole measured area, whole valley, and even the dead bodies, ashes, and all the fields unto the brook of Kidron, under the corner of the horse gate toward the east, shall be holy unto the Lord. Okay? He's going to clean it up, like you know, in the future, you know, when the earth is going to be cleaned up here during the millennial reign. It's all going to be cleaned up and made holy, and the new temple, the one that replaces Solomon's temple, well, and that's not the one that Herod built, but this is, like I said, Ezekiel's future temple. Shall be holy unto the Lord. It shall not be plucked up, nor thrown down any more forever. Okay? When God's in control, when you know, everything happens the way God has it planned to happen, it's going to exist, okay, eventually, forever and ever. And hey, we finished that chapter, okay, and we'll move on next week. And we finished.